Right. I just want to first ask how you're doing, really. I know it's been a tough situation for you, especially, but just how are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm like, tired and overwhelmed, but largely fine. I had a therapy phone call session just before this, so I got the feelings out. It's all good.
It's okay to cry your feelings out. We all have to do it once in a blue moon, so it's
Absolutely.
understandable. So you're obviously in a very different position to the rest of your fellow participants this year. You're in Australia. Um, I mean, obviously, yesterday you were very upset about that. I think did it only just kick in yesterday for you?
Yeah. Literally, I just as I was about to go into the press conference and I was sort of just scanning all of the Twitter feed and just seeing all the rehearsals and the media like interviews and all that stuff and I was just like, I don't want to be there. Like it sucks that I didn't get to be there and like just feels like missing out. Yeah.
What's one thing that you feel like you're missing out on the most? Is it meeting everyone? Is it the stage?
It's kind of all of it. It's just like the whole rigmarole and, being on the big stage, doing all of the rehearsals for, 2 weeks and yeah, meeting everyone and getting to chat to people and be like in Rotterdam.
So you're having to use your live on tape that you filmed, was it a couple months ago now?
Yeah, I feel like it was March, maybe end of March. Yeah.
So what was the experience of that like? What can we expect from that when we see it next week?
It was good. It was a bit stressful. I wish we'd had more time to rehearse and prepare and all of that. But I think what we landed with ultimately is good. Um, yeah, it was interesting. It's just like it's a canned recording. Like you don't, there's no audience. Like, there was a small, like my partner was there, and there were some journalists and like the crew, obviously. But it definitely does feel like a different beast. There's like, um, I don't know. It's also just like I don't know. Recording down the road from your house is just there's a lack of ceremony. I think, um, but at the same time, it also did feel like a big thing to do. Like when we finished it, we were like, "Wow, we did that! Hell yeah!" So, yeah, mixed emotions.
So had you been able to actually go to Rotterdam, do your rehearsals, what would your staging have been like, and what would your costume have been? Would it have been different? What was the plans for that?
I think the costuming would have been the same. I honestly, I have no idea what like budget and stuff was like for this whole thing. I wasn't really clued in on it throughout the whole thing, but I would have liked if there was time and budget to for the dancers to have been wearing different colors because they were
Mm-hmm.
all wearing the same color in the live and tape and staging. I think I would have made it brighter and a bit more. Um, well, we didn't have any LED. I think we would have done some stuff with the LED. I would have really liked to have done some stuff with the LED, but obviously that wasn't an option. And I don't know. I can't say for the rest. Like that's something I also brainstorm with the rest of the production team, and they have like they have the knowledge that puts my ideas into practice, and sometimes my ideas are fantasy and like can't be replicated, and sometimes they aren't, and sometimes they're adaptable. So they would have known best like what it would have looked like, but or the technical specifications for like what would have been used and stuff. But otherwise, I just have the dream in my head, which is I just wanted it to feel a bit like I was in. Someone made like a fan cam of Technicolor with like metal Princess Peach and
I think I've seen
or
that, yeah.
rose gold Princess Peach, and I was like, that's kind of how I wanted it to look. Is like on the rainbow track in space, not even in space, not space, kind of just with that bright, lots of things everywhere energy, but maybe a bit more. I don't know. I have no idea.
So you've thought of it, but you haven't thought of it, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
pretty
Yeah.
much.
So let's move away from Eurovision because I bet you've been asked a lot about it. It's, a typical typical thing to ask. You've
Mm.
openly expressed your love for gaming, and I've noticed that. What's one of your favorite games that you've ever played?
I'll say this one just because we're playing it right now, but Persona 5, which is this Japanese RPG that I played like 3 years ago and felt like playing again now. So I'm playing it through with my partner now who has never played it before, and it's a really long ass, like, story based game. It's kind of like a, if you combined like Final Fantasy with Pokemon with a dating sim. It's like it's a big ass game that like just does a lot, and it's really fun, and the relationships and the dialogue and the story are really like over the top and epic and surprising, and it's really great.
I love your look as just a general thing. You're very experimental with your look, and I noticed that you love to change your hair up. So one thing I just want to quickly ask is, what's one color that you haven't dyed your hair that you want to?
Um, I think at this length it would be cool to dye it like a really like kind of the color of your shirt, like really hot
Yeah,
pink kind of thing. I think that would be cool. Maybe I should do that. Anyway, that kind of thing. I think that would be cool. I've also seen some like really elaborate, like Pinterest sourced, um, really creative, detailed patterns in here, and I'd love to do one of those one day. Yeah.
what's next for you? Is there an album? Is there hopefully a tour when everything calms down eventually? What's
Mm.
next?
Yeah, album. I'd say like probably a single before album, maybe two singles before album, or more than that. Or if not album, maybe two EPs or something. I am like working on a few songs for a video game. I don't know when it will come out, but the deadlines are coming up, so I have to finish those. And I'm working on music for a play that will be performed, I think, a couple of years from now or next end of next year or something like that. So there's that, and yeah, I'd love to tour like as soon as that's made possible. You know, if I can. I've never toured overseas, so definitely if Eurovision allows me an audience to do that, like I'll definitely be doing it.
Perfect. So finally, your fans absolutely love you. I mean, there was a Twitter hashtag going on last night, I'm pretty sure. So
Yeah.
what message do you have for those fans that are supporting you?
Um, I mean, obviously, thank you so much. I like really appreciate it a lot. I think more than I myself understand. And I think, I don't know, it's just really nice and really comforting. So thank you, and keep it up if you want to. And otherwise, it's fine. And I'm happy to give back.